All right, guys. So this week's Wonderwall topic is dandelions. You guys have already asked some really great questions. You have some really great wonders about dandelions. Today, I'm just going to kind of talk to you about the life cycle of a dandelion, and it's actually going to answer some of the questions that you've already asked me. So here we go. All right, so the first stage of the dandelion that we have here, it's closed up. This is just kind of when it's just starting to peek out and form, okay? As it grows and it expands, which you'll start to notice if you kind of look inside. I don't know if you can see inside of there. You'll have to find one that looks kind of like that. This is starting to get there. Here, this is a good one to show you guys. The dandelion is not just one single flower. Each one of those petals is a flower. Each one. And at the bottom of each of their little flower nodules is the seed that eventually will look like this. At the bottom of each one of those petals is a seed. So what's happening is the dandelion is growing and maturing. And that seed is actually a fruit. It's growing and maturing so that it can ripen its fruit and spread it. So what's happening, the stages of the dandelion starts here. You can see how it's expanding. It's getting a little bigger each day that it grows. And this will be really cool for you to go and pick some of these out in your yard and just look right up close. And you could even like pick some of the flowers out, which now you know these aren't just petals, these are each flowers. You could even pick some of them out and just really study and look at them. It's going to be hard for me to show you on the video, that otherwise I would do it. So then once it's gotten to its point of maturity, that's when it'll close back up again. So if you notice, it was closed, it opens real wide. That sunshine is getting down to those seeds or that fruit that's within the flower. The flowers. Well, even I forgot. And once it matures and it gets real wide there, the next stage is it closes back up again once it's matured. So this is what you see there. It's closed back up. It's getting that little white, the white fluffy part at the top. And then it kind of forms a part that this will eventually fall off. Oh, there's a little ant there. Hello, buddy. And then once it opens back up again, it'll look like this, how we know it to be like the wish flowers. And there's the little fruits that have come from that flower. So if you could look at these flowers underneath a microscope, you would actually see little itty bitty fibers, white fibers that are covering the petals. And that's what we see here when it starts to mature and it closes up, are those white fibers that the yellow part kind of gets eaten away so that the fruit can take form and spread. So in case you didn't believe me that this yellow flower turns into that white flower, because I know a lot of people think they're two separate ones, I opened up one of these yellow ones. This is good. You can kind of really see those seeds that are down there. And you can see how as it ripens and matures, it turns into the white, fluffy pieces that you see flying in the wind. My daughter calls them wish flowers. So each one of those is its own flower that's within that dandelion. See? Kind of cool, isn't it? So let's see if we cut into this one what happens. Okay, so this one was not quite ripe yet. And you can see there where the yellow flowers that used to be there have kind of shriveled up. It was not quite ripe yet. That's why it was still closed up. Let's see if this one looks the same. It looks like it's a little bit more ripe than the last one we just opened up. Let's see what it looks like. This one is definitely more ripe than the last one that we just opened. The seeds, or the fruits, you can see are darker coloring. And the top part is a little bit more fluffy. Oops, getting out of focus there. You can see the difference between this one that was very tightly closed up still, how that fruit still has not ripened yet. It was still in the process of ripening. And here, and this one that was kind of starting to look like it was closer to opening up, the fruit has darkened and has started to ripen. So it was on its way to being able to open up and form into a fluffy flower, or flowers, florets, I believe that they're called. So what I want you to do today is go in your yard and see if you can find dandelions that are in all the different stages, from when it's first beginning to form all the way up until it turns into that white fluffy dandelion where you get to make a wish. So you're going to look for them when it's really closed up, and then as it starts to mature and grow, it'll spread, it'll get all that sunlight, and the bees come and drink the nectar and help pollinate. And then that fruit at the bottom of each one of those flowers that's inside the dandelion starts to ripen. And as that happens, that dandelion closes right back up again. And that's where it starts to reform and take a new form as the dandelion, which my daughter calls wish flowers, the white ones. So pretty cool stuff.